my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope that you are getting out in nature, and this is a beautiful time of the year. I love this time of year, fall, where the nights are cool, and like the daytime, like in my area today is going to be like about 70. Over the weekend it's going to be 80. Woohoo! So I love this time of year because the leaves start changing, and later on throughout this month, you'll be able to walk through in my area and hear the noise of leaves as you're walking around everywhere and anywhere. And I love that sound, especially going on a hiking trail somewhere out in the woods. I love walking through those leaves like that. And so anyway, besides getting out in nature, especially hiking trails, guys and girls, is to, I want to make sure you're taking really good care of yourself. Make sure you're being kind and gentle to yourself, and not just to you, but your loved ones and, people out in public. We all need, love, and, we need to be kind to each other, and also if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me, and this is at Starlight on YouTube, and that's Kathy with a K, Dingman. Plus, if you want to see a change in the world, or better yet, be a change in the world, you can like my videos. That way other people will get these videos and get the help that they need. So also what you can do is share my videos, not just with your furry friends or not so furry friends, but also with your family, your friends, a cat, a dog, a chipmunk. Starlight loves chipmunks. So besides sharing my videos with a chipmunk, is also you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget the notification bell, and you can leave a message down below this video, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you can follow me on Instagram, and that is at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K, Dingman. So I just started making this video, and I had to redo it because Starlight's got a lot of going on today. I'm in the middle of moving. My laundry's at the laundromat, and here I am making a video all in one shot. So I had to restart this video all over again because I made too many mistakes. So anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And today, this is really a big reason of why I started a YouTube channel. Is I have kids. I have two beautiful adult kids. A daughter, is 34. My, where did time go? And my son is 31. So, and they have babies. So I have two grandsons. One that is 14 now, and actually 13, not 14. I'm actually getting him older than he is, but and my other one is turning 4 in the month of October. So this is the reason why I started a YouTube channel, is because of my kids, and not just my kids, but my grandkids, and not just my kids and my grandkids, but because of your grandkids. This is really the reason why I started a YouTube channel. It's not about me and my life, because my life is already halfway over. I'm already 52, so only God knows how long I'm going to be here on planet Earth. So I want to do as much as I can from now until the time that God takes me out of here, And so what it is that because the way the world is going is, if you're a dad or a mom and you got kids and you got grandkids, really, we need to really help our kids out, and not just our kids or grandkids, is by, helping our kids out, finding out what the truth in this world is. So, we can help them so they can also be the change that they want to see in the world. And that means that we gotta bring our kids up right, and it is something when you have kids and, they get like an adult, like I can talk to my daughter or my son, and I could say, I love you, and, You need to be a voice to your children if you feel they're going in the wrong direction or making the wrong choices. But it's not our place to tell them what to do. Just like with me having a YouTube channel, it's not my place to force you to, or tell you what you should be doing, or trying to make you do something. We all have a free will, and I am a teacher teaching people ways of doing things, to help them so they don't make the, have more lessons to learn in life because of, making the wrong mistake, making wrong choices in life that could slow the process down where you want to go. That really, that's what ends up happening. Sometimes we take the wrong road, we take the wrong path. I do that when I go out hiking sometimes. Sometimes I don't bring a map with me, and it's like because it's early in the day, and I'm like, I could just take this trail, and then I get in the middle of the woods, and it's like, I could either take a right or a left, or maybe there's a fork in the road where I can go straight, left or right, you know. So I always try to go by my gut or my intuition, like to try to figure out what way, I like testing myself out like that, to see if I'm going to get out of that hiking trail. And, so it is fun doing that, is to see if you can do that. And because of this month coming up, I have never, and I would love to be able to do this if I really want to do this, is to find where they have a corn maze to go into, because I have never gone in a corn maze. So I want to see if I can use my intuition to figure out how to get out of a maze, be able to make the right choices to figure out what way I should go to get out at the end of the maze. I always loved those little maze games that they had for kids when you were little, trying to figure out what way to get, to this place, like a mouse, like in a maze or whatever. So, and as life goes, is sometimes we make the wrong choices, and then we gotta, sometimes, we might get in a wrong relationship, where it was painful, but, you learn some stuff, don't you? You're like, why didn't I see that? Or I seen it and I ignored it, but I just kind of went and did it. I ignored the warning signs, the red flags that were all over, and so I try to really help people out so they don't go through that kind of stuff, because then, you could have saved yourself and protect your energy by really not jumping into stuff. A lot of times people do, and when it comes to relationships, because they're lonely, they don't want to be by themselves, they don't want to take care of everything in their apartment or their house. That means, everything you got to do, or even you might make the wrong choice for jobs, and Starlight has definitely done that, where, it is so important is to teach your children, when they're little, to be a great example to them, and to teach them by being an example yourself, is how to help other people out in the world, but to keep them safe at the same time. I know and understand a lot of parents teach their kids is not to talk to strangers, but what I learned when I was a kid is that really, I really never really had not very many strangers that did something to me. Mainly it was people that I knew, people I was related to. So it is kind of, it is hard when kids that are a certain age where you want to protect them from getting hurt. So, but at the same time, you can teach them how to be safe, and still, when they get older, is that, if there's somebody in need, and if they can, or even if it's a piece of advice, some wisdom that you might have, is to help. We really need to love each other out in this world. And don't, there's people that will teach their kids about, I love all of you. I really don't care what color you are or what country you come from, because I know, I don't pay attention to nothing on the news. I don't vote. I don't believe in it. I believe it's all set up, and those are my opinions, and I have every right to that. But, throughout history, it is, they tried to stop people from coming in the United States, and they wanted to build walls and all that stuff, to stop people from coming in here, and, I know where I live is people get upset because they do let people from the country, other countries come here, and I understand because there's people here that need the help, but I'm not against people coming here to get help because I always put myself in those other people's shoes where they live, and if I was where they were living, and if I was going through some like where the people are controlling them or abusing them, or the laws were corrupt or the system was corrupt, you bet your butt I would want to get out to a different country to live free. And really, we're not all free like a lot of people think, and like they say, freedom is not free, so I understand that. But you really want to teach your kids at a very young age is to, I know there's a lot of people out there, they see homeless people. Some people they are really like Starlight here. I am very given to the homeless people. I've helped homeless people many times, even when I was hurting, and we really still need to teach that to our kids. But there's different ways we can help the homeless people, and I understand a lot of them, they might want cash, and then you can find out, why do you want cash, Oh, you need some food? Ask them questions, So, I've given homeless people blankets before, I've given them different items, food before, and a lot of times, depending on where they live, they might not need food because they can get free food at a kitchen, a soup kitchen or something like that, or a church, or homeless shelter places that they give them food. And in my area, they have a van that goes around, and that van with people that volunteer their time, they hand food to the people to help them out. So sometimes they need money for minutes on their phone, and depending on where they are as far as homeless goes, so we really do need to help each other out, and in this lifetime here. And but we really do seriously need to change things, the way things are going in the world, for not just my kids, but for my grandkids, and not just for my grandkids, but for yours. So we really need to be the best examples that we can, like to show them, the way in this world. And you really need to know the truth in this world, like, what is the truth? The truth is that we all been lied and deceived from the beginning of time, all the way in the back of one of my favorite books in the Bible was Exodus, because I learned a lot of valuable information in that book, is because with Moses, which I felt like Moses before with the staff, woo, the power of God in me. And you might be wondering how I thought that. Thought is, I did put a video out there on YouTube about a spiritual awakening where Starlight felt like she was Moses, with the staff in her hand, and I definitely had the power of God in me, so you could check that video out if you want. And all those spiritual awakening stories sound really crazy, but it just proves to me that we are more powerful than what we've been told. And that's the whole thing, is that we've been lied to way, long time ago, when they, took over the Indians and what they've done to the Indians, and they stole the land. It wasn't for them to steal the land. The land is for all of us. That's, I don't believe in buying land. It's our land. It's everybody's land. It's not just for the homeowners. That's all a joke out there for just, like to buy this part of land and that. And then there's people that are homeless. That is a big problem to me in this world, is that land has been stolen. And then there's slavery that was going on in the Bible times, where they were beating people to build for Pharaoh. And that's where Moses wanted to set those people free, you know, and some of you might think that there's not slavery going on, but there is slavery. It's an invisible where you really can't see the slavery that is going on. You know, there are people out there that work so many hours in a week and they don't have a life, and they're not getting that much money for all those hours that they put in. You know, and I know you probably think they're not slaves, they're not getting beat, but they don't have a life. Their life has been taken, you know, and so you got to really wake up to the truth of really what's going on in this world is that they want to control every part of you, you know, like, and that's when COVID came out, you know, really, to me, it's a big wake up call. And, you know, that now they're saying that there's going to be another virus on the way. So we really do. We have to wake up. We got to stay awake. This is not the time to fall asleep. We have to get to find out what the truth is so we can protect our kids, you know, protect our grandkids, you know, because what kind of future are they going to have? What kind of future is my grandson going to have? He's going to be turning 4. You know, I have another one, like I said, that just turned 13. What kind of future, what kind of girl is he going to find? That's why it's so important that we bring up our children in a really good, healthy way. We teach them what to eat that's right and wrong. You know, that way, you know, we're helping them out for later on. And, you know, like a lot of times adults, and I know this, I've witnessed this myself in my life, is that, you know, like a lot of parents will give things to kids because it's sweet and it tastes good, but it might not be good for their teeth, and it's not going to be good for them, you know, like later on in their life. Just, you know, like, and a lot of times, you know, like, because I was one of these kids when I was little, I was forced to eat everything on my plate, not to waste any food. So Starlight is still like that today, is I don't waste food. You know, if I got a little bit of this in a bottle, I put a little tiny water in there and I'll shake that baby out because I'm getting every drop. Starlight's something else when it comes, you know. So it's really good to teach your children not to waste, you know, their food. You know, there's so many things I could go on and on about, like raising up kids in a good, healthy way, you know, and teach them to try different foods. You know, they really do, but try to really give them the food that's the right kind of food. You know, all those crackers and chips and, you know, sweet, you know, cereals that they have out there. Have you noticed, like, any commercials that I've ever watched? I never see any, like, um, you know, vegetable commercials where, you know, they're always putting out all the worst kind of foods out there. I don't really, where's the, like, the vegan diet commercials, or where's the vegetarian diet commercials? You know, it's either a big greasy hamburger, you know, like with a bunch of cheese dripping over the side, or deep fried chicken somewhere, you know, like, and or steak that's, you know, like on a grill or whatever. But where's the vegetables and the fruit, you know, and other stuff that is healthy for you, you know, like different grains and stuff. You know, I like wheat, you know, I like wheat products and different things like that. So you got to really look at how this world is. They don't really care about your health by putting those commercials on the TV like they do. And when football comes and all the commercials they put on there, you know, and so we have to be living the right kind of life for our children to be able to follow, you know. And my 2 kids, you know, were brought up like they knew church. You know, that's what they did. They went to church when they were growing up, you know, at a very young age, you know, and a lot of corrupt things go on in church. So you got to protect your kids, you know, in public schools. You know, there's a lot of things that go upside down in a public school and how they're getting kids to be in there. And there's a lot of adults that don't want their kids knowing about sex first thing when they go to public school. You know, and I am against where even the Catholic churches that they, you know, they teach the girls and boys to wear the same stuff, you know, like you know, like I don't want my kid to be the same like everybody. Like I would not want to send my child to a Catholic school. You know, like that might offend you, but really, what's the reason for the short skirts with these girls? You know, there's a lot of older men, which I've, you know, definitely know this. You know, I go out and buy those skirts, you know, to role play, with a man, so why would they want those beautiful little girls to wear those kind of skirts? That's a big turn on for many men in the world, is to wear those kind of skirts, so they're already, like, why not a long dress, or, why have them all wear the same uniform, so I do not agree with that at all. And I don't apologize for that at all, because really is that we need to be unique and we need to be different. We need to be ourselves, is what we ought to teach our children, is that if, let them try different hairstyles and stuff like that. Let them discover who they really truly are, and teach them how to clean up and take care of themselves and look presentable out in public, teach them how to, how to behave out in public and how to care for people, and not just people but animals, because animals need to be treated good, not just people. They're no lesser than we are. They are God's creation, where we really do. We need to love each other, and really to see the things that are going on in this world with like the control that's going on across the whole planet, like with people trying to tell us what to do, like that I got to wear a mask or take an injection in my skin. That is totally, this is my body here. Like I can choose on my own, even when I go to my doctors, just because they say that there is a medication, do I need that medication? More than likely not, but it's a big money making system out there with the medication. If you're not aware of that, people make lots of money on the medication you might be taking on stocks, and I didn't know that until probably 3 years ago, where I did know a man that actually was putting money in different areas in stock, and I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, oh, isn't that funny? So your doctor could be making money on the medication that you're taking. Now, I do understand there's some medications people have to take or they would not be able to live. So I'm not saying that all medications are bad, but there's a lot of times there's other ways that the doctors could tell us different things that could really help us out. A lot of doctors do not want to tell us the truth on some things, because that they want you to come back to get help. Not all doctors are bad. There are good doctors out there that are really, they really do. They actually would rather give you different things to take that will help you out, or, like say, hey, why don't you do some guided meditations that will really help you out, or how about get some exercise that will really help you out, or to change your diet around because that will really help, or go to therapy and counseling and stuff like that. That will help you out. Go out and take a hike. And I don't mean to get lost, go sit by I love sitting by a stream of water. That's my favorite and I do love the ocean though, and lakes, but a river to hear the water, go by me, or I've sat right in the center of a little stream of water, where I put my folded chair right in the middle, and all that stuff is healing. Get out in sun. Not all of you might, there's some people that are affected by the sun in a bad way, but if you're not affected, get some of that beautiful sun, get some air, teach your kids to get some exercise, get them away from the video games and, the computers, get them outside, get out with Mother Gaia, planet Earth, love the animals, teach them to love animals, teach them about animals and all the interesting things that they teach us. They really do. They teach us a lot in life, and the way I look at it with dogs and cats, they never judge us. They actually teach us how to be human, really. They don't bitch and complain, like every day about this and that. They're when you get home, they are so happy and they greet you at the door. Wouldn't you love to, be with a loved one out there when you get home? They greet you to the door and they miss you. well, Starlight's that girl, is that, when I'm in a relationship, I'm like, hey, if I'm in a healthy relationship, that is, where I'm like, I can't wait for my loved one to come home. Instead of waiting for him to come home and start complaining about all the wrong, horrible stuff, is to say, hey, how was your day? I miss you. And we do. We need to let our loved ones, if you are in a good relationship, if like, and I've met many men in my past, and this is a shame in a way, I've gone on dating apps where I met a lot of men. They said they loved their women, but they were out searching for another one, that kind of, and it's not just guys that do that. Women do the same thing, where they love them because they're cleaning their laundry, they're cooking their meals, maybe they got a lot going on, but apparently there's something that's not quite right, where they're out, like, going on dating apps trying to meet up with other women, so you really got to be honest with your loved ones, and if something's not quite working out or whatever, you got to communicate with them, like a guy or a girl. Let them know maybe you're not in the right relationship, and we need to be an example to our kids when it comes to relationships. They shouldn't have to come home from school and hear a bunch of yelling and screaming and fighting, and it is not healthy. I know when I was a kid, that is just, like, if you're a kid and you have parents that are fighting and arguing and yelling and screaming or throwing things around in the house, that is not good for your kids to be under that. Apparently, you're not in the right relationship, and that's something that you have to see on your own. Like, if you're yelling and screaming and always, and the kids are seeing that, and they have to go in their room and shut the door because they're afraid, or they have to go outside if it's not wintertime because they're afraid and they don't like, that is not a healthy environment for them psychologically or anything. It's really, really not good for them to be under that stuff, because I know what that's like, is to hear somebody fighting, and it is scary for a kid, or if you're in a relationship, either the guy or girl is yelling and screaming. These are the things that we need to work on as far as humans out here. We are spirit beings having a human experience, and the thing is, a lot of people are not acting human. Sometimes there's people out there, and it's really sad. I've seen this and witnessed where some people are acting like animals because they didn't get brought up right. So that's why it's so important that we do think before we go out and have babies. That's why I made a video about why do you want to have babies. Sometimes, a lot of times it's an accident. I do know somebody in my life right now where 2 unplanned pregnancies already. It's like bam, bam. They got one, and now they got another, and they didn't even get married yet. It's like, why haven't you gotten married? You got babies. Why are you guys not married? Like, I don't understand that. What holds you back? Like, I don't understand that. I would love to get married. That's all I am desiring, is to get married. To be with a really great man out there, spirit being, that's really doing the best he can to become his greatest version of himself, or be the change that he wants to see. We need to bring up our kids in that way, to teach them to be the best that they can be. We need to lift the standards up. That's what I got taught at this one church. That pastor was always lifting the standards up. He didn't let us slack, believe me. And that's what we need to do. We need to raise the bar up. We need to fight harder to do better, instead of just like caving in and just giving up and just not doing anything. We really need to. We need to work on ourselves in such a way that other people see that change, and then they desire to want that, and it does. It takes a lot of work. So, like, you got to really love yourself enough that you realize that, I got to, there's not going to be a change out there unless there's a change in here. It's in here is what we need to change, like it's not out there, like, even though you might look on the news and see all the horrible stuff that's going to come and things that you're afraid about, but, like, we got to work in ourselves, help our kids, help our grandkids, like to help them and teach them the ways, so then when they get older, teach your children in the way that they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. That's what if I got that right in the Bible, that's what the Bible says. I might not have it exactly word to word, but really, we have to, that's why it's so important that we can't judge each other by the outward appearance. Whether, a person is a different skin color, or they might not look as beautiful as you think you look. I go to anybody and everybody. I don't care about the outward appearance. Just because somebody might not look as pretty or handsome as you do doesn't mean that they are not human. Just because of their outward, they could be the most beautiful person out in the world inside. It's not about the outside. I go to those people that I feel that the society has put aside, and I pay attention to them. And you never know what you're going to learn from people like that, that it's not about how, I've met some really rude girls out there and men because they think they're so beautiful. They're too prideful, and they're stuck up. They think that their doo-doo don't stink, and their doo-doo stinks like mine does. So just because you look great on the outside, it doesn't mean that you don't need to work in your inside, or it doesn't matter how smart you are or how much money you have. We all have areas that we need to work on, and there's not all rich people are, jerks or all that. I know some beautiful people that have lots of money, and they are doing such a great thing in the world. There's a lot of great people that have money. We can't be jealous about those people that have worked hard for the money that they earn, because they didn't, some people are born with a silver spoon in their mouth, but not everybody's born that way. Not everybody has come from rich families. So, so we have to stop judging each other and thinking one race is better than another, because all that's an illusion. We have to love ourselves fully, and help our children to love themselves. Teach your children how to love themselves. Inspire them, encourage them that they are doing great, but always let them know you're doing super in these areas, but you got some areas right here that you got to kind of strengthen. Let them know they need to have that balance. Yes, you were doing good. And I know, like with me, I tell people when I had my cleaning business, sometimes people would say, oh, you did such a great job cleaning the house. And, and I'm like, or would say a compliment, where sometimes I would say, like, I know that there's room for improvement in my life. I know that, I have not arrived, and I know I have lots of work to do in my inside, and I am willing to do the work. And it takes time, and it takes a lot of patience, but you got to be consistent, and you got to teach your kids, to always get them to strive to do better. Don't let them settle for something less. Let them to realize that they can do better. And give them credit when due. Don't always complain and yell at them and scream at them. Look at all the good things that they're doing. And then, at the same time, you could show them in different ways that, you're doing really good in these areas, but here you need to work a little bit more in these areas here. So then they strengthen those weak areas, just like us as parents, as adults, is that we need to really, there's areas that I was weak on, like about going out and driving all over. Now, now I'm not afraid to drive anymore, like, or go anywhere. Now I changed that. Now I have other areas that I have to work on, just to become my greatest version of myself, or to be the change that I want to see in the world. So if you are afraid of the future of your children or your grandchildren, that just means that we all really need to come together and love each other, forgive yourself for your shortcomings, and don't be too hard on other people or yourself. We really need to love each other, and you are enough, you have enough. God gave you everything inside of you, and so anyway, I know the minutes are going, as I do love you so much. It's just that we really need to love ourselves and love each other, and we need to let go of judging each other and, saying one person's better than another. nobody has arrived, you know, and we all have lessons to learn, and we can be the change in the world that we want to see, but we gotta work on ourselves, and we can help our children and our grandchildren, teach them, you know, the right way to go and to be in this world, you know, to be a positive change, you know, like, you know, so I love all of you. So, you know, like you got to find out really what is going on behind the curtain in this world so you can guide your kids and not to let, you know, and wait a minute, let love guide you, not fear. So don't be afraid of what they say on the news, but be prepared. Get ready for the stuff that's going to be coming. You know, don't fall asleep right now. I'm serious. You don't want to fall asleep. Stay awake. Anyway, this is Starlight. I love all of you. You can give this video a thumbs up. You can share this video with your family member, your cat, your dog, your friend, your bird. And you can leave a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you can also follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight or on Facebook at Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. I love you so much, you know, and we really do. We have to help our children and our grandchildren. We really do. We got to be there for them, teach them, you know, if you babysit your grandkids, teach them as much as you can. You know, teach them all the, you know, the do's and don'ts. That way, you know, when they get older, they will learn from that, you know, teach them to love each other and not to judge. And kids are so beautiful. When they're little at a certain age, they don't care what you look like. They don't judge that stuff. My grandson, he don't care what color skin you are or how much you weigh or what you look like, you know, and that's how we should be. You know, animals don't care what you look like or what color skin. They don't care about that. Those animals are so beautiful. And it's so sad. There's a lot of animals that go through so much abuse out there from some people out there. Even kids abuse pets. Is that they don't, you know, they still love you even after they've been beaten, you know. And you know, that's a really shameful thing to say that, but you know, not saying that we need to be like that, but you know, that's why it's so important not to abuse those animals. They have that beautiful unconditional love for us. You know, I've had many pets, you know, they can't wait for me to get home. They, you know, I love cats that always want to come and visit and want to get pet, you know, and they are so precious. So be kind to your babies, your pets, and your kids and your family members, please. You know, I love all of you. And anyway, this is Starlight. Love and light. Peace.